Good morning, everyone. This is Sujan Chatterjee. I am from Kolkata, India, and I'll take you through this journey along the rivers of Brahmaputra, which we have been conducting since 2008. It's been a very successful trip, which involves a lot of mammals, birds, culture. It's a bit different from the ones that you usually do in the European continent and in Americas, which is mostly along the sea. This one is along the river, and Brahmaputra is a mighty river which comes down all the way from Tibet right into India, crosses across Assam, comes down into Bangladesh, and discharges into the Bay of Bengal. So this is the Brahmaputra Cruise, and this is the chart of the course. We start on the east with Nimati. We visit the Gibbon Wildlife Sanctuary down south, then into the Majuli Island. Along that is the Jamunkuri village, Kaziranga National Park, which is a fantastic wildlife place in India, and into Tejpur, where we go to visit the Nameri Wildlife Sanctuary, and along the river into Guwahati. So this is a 11 days and 10 nights program, which is in the lap of extreme luxury and fantastic wildlife. So we start off with the Gibbon Wildlife Sanctuary, which is tall forest. It's a small patch of forest still surviving the brunt of the tea gardens. So this place has some fabulous primates and some good birds. This is a red-headed trogon, which we sometimes encounter over there. This is a beautiful red. This is a male bird sitting very patiently. Usually, our groups are large, so bird watching can be a bit tricky over here because the cruise obviously takes up 20 to 30 people on board, and but definitely we do see the primates over here. This is one called the Stumptail Macaque. These are tailless, stumpy, very aggressive macaques, which are found in this part and right into the Southeast Asian continent. This is a bunch of males which are getting ready for a fight for territory, and we just happen to be there. All the faces are red, so all worked up and aggressive. We then see black giant squirrel. These are a meter long squirrels which inhabit these parts of the world. A beautiful animal. They like to lie down on their belly eating nuts. There's another primate, the capped langur, which is also seen in these parts. They are also Southeast Asian primates, which are found in Assam and eastwards. This is the star of the forest. This is the Hulak gibbon. So Hulak gibbon is found across a large spectrum, but they are in small isolated pockets. Because as continuous forests are getting destroyed, Hulak gibbons are getting into small islands of forests. So it's quite a sight of these gibbons uh, serenading in the morning light and sometimes swinging across the paths. It's a beautiful, beautiful creature. We have seen them in every trip, so this is more or less a guaranteed mammal on this trip. And of course, this is one of the days where we have a organized field breakfast. As you can see, everybody is lined up in front of the buffet table, and of course, you must be looking at all the funny leg gear people are wearing. These are leech guards. This is one place we encounter leech because it's a lot of leaf litter. It rains a lot, so it's usually wet condition. So everybody is forced to wear leech guards to save some bloodletting. So even though it makes you look funny, it's quite useful actually. We then move on to the Majuli Island. Majuli Island is a very large river island on the northern bank of Brahmaputra. It is also the headquarters of the Assamese religious center. So it has got a few monasteries. Some of the monasteries have been washed off by the river over the years. There are a few left. Some of them are very active monastery. We visit two monasteries who specialize in art and culture. So this is a drumming session which is usually performed by the monks for us. Is something really worth watching. Even though I'm not a great music lover, but I still quite enjoy this uh, drumming session every time I visit. And of course, when you're on land, you're walking around the monastery campus, you get to see some good birds. So this is one of them, the brown hawk owl, the brown bubuk, some people call it. We see them in the campus of the monks because they're quite wooded over there. And some birds are quite easy to see in the gardens. We also see signature spider, and sometimes in the summer we see orchids blooming. Um, it's absolutely beautiful. Villages in India are always crawling with wildlife. You can always see all kind of creatures in the gardens. We then sail down into this village called Jamunguri. It's not necessary we go to the same village every time. Depends on the position where we can moor our boat and get off. These are villages inhabited by the Mishing tribes. Mishing tribes are Indo-Burmanic tribes who have come and settled down from the Arunachal Pradesh and the Indo-Tibet border, and they specialize in fishing and in textiles. So they weave their own clothes, and their houses are on stilts because it floods every time. So fishing and cloth material is what they do, and their treasured animal is the pig, which is well looked after because pigs is very important in their life. They can buy wives by against pigs. So depends on how beautiful the bride is, the number of pigs go up. And we visit their schools, disrupting all their daily activity. A few quiz going on from the from kids, and as you can see, they're all in uniform. In India, we like to have uniform when we go to school. Some of the kids are late. They are in uniform partly, but they have their own right on the buffalo, rushing back to school because they're late. And we get all kind of funnily dressed people over there. And here is a missing lady showing off how to grind spices. And in the middle is one of our guides, Imran Ali, dressed up as a woman. And on the right, one of our clients also dressed up. Didn't give up any opportunity to not dress up when it happens. So you get those who like butterflies. There's a lot of butterflies in Assam, and this is a red spot Jezebel, which is seen in the gardens. Gaudy Baron female, also along the leaf litters. Then we head to Kaziranga, which is a mega park, and we spent 4 days over here. We move on the eastern side of the park, and from there we come into this is the eastern range, the Sahola Tower, and you can see the fantastic range of mountains, the Tibetan border mountains on a clear day, and there's wild buffalo in front. There's big grassland. Kaziranga has more than 500 species of birds and a lot of endangered mammals. Uh, Rhino, of course, is the star over there. But along with that, we have elephants, tigers, buffaloes, deer, you name it, they have it over there. And again, we have a field breakfast because we have an early start, so we all queue up our cars over there, and we have a box breakfast. This is a common hill miner, some of the star birds of the sanctuary. Beautiful mimica, and usually referred as the minor bird for the people who keep birds at home. Swamp francolin, another endangered species, which is very grassland dependent. So this is one of the rare places where you can see this bird. Crested serpent eagle, uh, specializes in eating snakes. So here's one basking in the morning sun. This is a beautiful male buffalo crossing the path. Uh, there are some of our clients keeping safe distance. Swamp deer. This is another endangered species which are found only in Kaziranga, and another subspecies is found in the central India in Kanha. They like swampy ground, tall legs, beautiful does, and there's I think one young male on the left, just got his horn sticking out. Brown fish owl. This is also a beautiful bird which is seen in Kaziranga. There are some spots which we know where we go and look for these birds. Asian barred owlet. This is a diurnal owl and likes to stay in the open places. So they're quite easy to see. And of course, this one glaring at the photographer. Red-breasted parakeet. Beautiful pink rosy chest. This one is a female. The male has a red bill, and this is of course taken in February when the silk cotton flowers have come out, and the birds gorge on these from the nectars and start getting into breeding conditions. Here's a classic example of the two mega mammals. Here's the rhino on the left and a big bull in must, both having a drink. These are Assam roof turtles. There are certain places where they come out to bask on these submerged logs. Beautiful creatures, little pointy carapace, looks like a tent. Just ahead is bee eater. These are summer migrants to the park. One of the most beautiful bee eaters we have in the country. You also get smooth-coated otters. Here's one in the lead in the left, which has got a fish. And smooth-coated otters are easily seen. They like to be in the shallow channels and they're quite fearless creatures. Palaces fish eagle. They are migrants from Tibet, but they breed in India. So they take the opportunity of the massive number of ducks that arrive in the winter. So they breed while the ducks are here. Here's it carrying a nesting material to his tree. Red jungle fowl, of course, the father and mother of all chicken. They're also here in Kaziranga. Of course, sometimes we see tigers. Um, Between Kaziranga and Sundarbans, we usually manage to see a tiger or two. Um, Depends how our luck is. This one is from, of course, Kaziranga, nice male coming up on the side of the road. This is another starbird, the great pied hornbill. This is the largest hornbill that you have. These breeding residents of Kaziranga. During March, they select a hole in the tree, and the female gets into the nesting hole and seals itself up, and the male feeds it from outside. This is a beautiful songbird called the white trump shama. So the white trump shama is more heard than seen. We were lucky this time; it came out in the open, and we had a good view of it. There's two buffaloes getting into a big fight. You see blood oozing from all over the place. So they lock horns for hours and hours and hours until one is dead. So it's a very gory sight at the end of it. Here we have a rhino coming up onto the road. And of course, the jeep driver is keeping an eye on his rear view mirror just in case he has to scoot. This tiger was seen in 2013 from the boat. We have seen tigers from the boat actually. I mean, not necessarily on safaris. We have seen quite a few tigers just from the deck of our boat. So this was one of the instances where we saw this one. And also from the boat, we saw the grey-headed fish eagle. Here is one carrying a knife fish in his talons. This is also a resident fish eagle, breeds in the park. And of course, with the abundance of fish and water, these fish eagles thrive very well. And we see big elephant herds. This too is from the boat. The elephants came down for a drink, so on the boat coming, they went up the bank and waited for us to go away. This is a beautiful stork, the black-necked stork. This is an endangered bird. It's a breeder in the national park. This too was taken from the boat. You can see the banks behind the river. Indo-Chinese roller. This is is a cousin of the Indian roller, which a lot of people have seen in the western side of India, slightly darker in color. And we have some cultural programs. Here's a bunch of school kids who do a bihu dance, and it involves a lot of drumming and flute playing. This is a beautiful program we have one evening. Sometimes we are lucky to get a village fair along the bank where we are moored. So there is also another elephant involved. So Assam without elephant is not something we can think of. So elephants are everywhere. Then we head to Nameri, which is where we do a bit of river rafting. This is a very soft river rafting, and to see the ibis bill, which is a very iconic bird which comes down from the Tibetan plateau along the rivers. So we don't have to row the boat. We have rowers along with us just to sit quietly and look out for the birds. This is the ibis bill. Uh, it's got a very specific habitat. It likes to sit on these rocks and eat insects. We also see ruddy shell ducks along with the ibis bills. And then we come down to a beach somewhere near Orang, and we have a beach barbecue at night. So this is something we always look forward to. At least I look forward to always. If it involves food, I'm the first one to be there. And get get some of our British members to sing some rugby songs or something. Depends how much they've drunk that night. At the end, we visit a temple, and then on the way to the airport, we stop at a garbage dump to see the greater adjutant stork. So, greater adjutant stork is an endangered species. There are only 2,500 birds left in the world, and this place has 3 to 400 birds, and very easy to see up close. So, there's nothing like a nice rubbish tip. This is Charaidew 2, which we currently use. This is a beautiful mega boat, and is absolutely brilliant, well designed for our kind of trips. This is some of the interiors. This is the bar counter and the sitting lounge. This is where we do all our evening meetings and evening talks. This is the lounge, the upper deck. Of course, the barmen, the most important two people on the boat. Doesn't matter whether the captain survives, barman has to be there. This is a picture of the room, and this is the crew on the way out. So to look after us, you need a huge number of people. You know, not everybody are visible all the time, and there are a lot of people who are down there at the bottom, cleaning, tinkering around with the machinery, etc. So it's a very important group of people on board. Some of our trips carry on into Manas National Park, which is an extension, which is the Bhutan border. So here you can see on the top corner, this is Manas National Park, which is a very large park. It's got beautiful birding, good grasslands bordering Bhutan, and very scenic. So some of the birds from Manas National Park: the yellow-footed green pigeon, gray-headed canary flycatcher. This is a good park to see small birds because you can actually kind of slow down in certain patches. It's got big mixed habitats, and it's not very rushed. You can spend all day inside the park. Puff-throated babbler, Bengal florican, which is the most iconic bird. The grasslands are losing out to cattle, so Bengal florican numbers are dwindling everywhere. And Manas is a good place to see this bird. We also see gaur, which is a more prevalent animal in the western and peninsular part of the country. But this is where you see this animal also. It's got beautiful landscape. It's very close to the foothills, fast-flowing rivers, and this is the Asiatic buffalo trying to cross. Scarlet minivet, which is a brilliant black and red bird, which we encounter on our trips. Hog deer is another elephant crossing the Manas River. And We do a pre-tour extension in Sundarbans National Park, which is down south close to Calcutta, 3 hours drive, and is the largest delta in the world. So all this dark green in the middle, this is Sundarban National Park. So its mangrove is controlled by tide, high and low. Is very unique. The species diversity is not vast, but it's got the most magnificent kingfishers you can ever see anywhere. And also you see these sunbirds, which are brilliant. Pied kingfisher. These are all seen from boat. Here we have a small boat which we take into the river channels. This is a boat which has got bathrooms, it's got a kitchen, it's got a couple of beds to sleep in. But you spend all day from breakfast till evening tea on board, and meals are cooked on board. Black cap kingfisher, which is a migrant from China and Southeast Asia. These are collared kingfishers. These are resident kingfishers. There is obviously getting ready for nesting. It's inspecting the females, inspecting a nesting hole. This is another resident, brilliant, large kingfisher, the brown-winged kingfisher. I mean, this is a really gaudy orange bird. I mean, this is a must-see from this part of the world. This is a Lotan sunbird. Uh, Sundarban has got a few watchtowers, which where you can get off and spend some time looking around. It's got freshwater ponds. You see mammals. You see some birds coming. Sometimes we have seen tigers also from there. Water monitors, etc. So there is always some activity from these watchtowers. This is a small minivet, another beautiful, dainty bird which inhabits the villages where we stay. The mighty white-bellied sea eagle, which actually likes eating more snakes than fish. There's a water monitor, which has stayed away from water and climbed the tree trunk. Saltwater crocodile is seen. You get pretty big numbers over here. Very successful species. Sometimes we see jungle cats. Here is one female with two kittens. They put up a great show that evening. But you have seen jungle cats quite often. Uh, Very beautiful animal. This one sat right out, completely not bothered about our presence. The cheetal deer, which is a very beautiful deer, which is there in the whole of Peninsular India, but here in Sundarbans we see them up close. We also see Irrawaddy dolphins. This is the two dolphins. The one in front is you can see the bulbous forehead. This is another endangered species which likes brackish water and fresh water, and they have been seen in the open sea also. They're a bit of coastal animal for us. Not quite often be seen. It's a rare animal. And of course, sometimes we end up seeing a tiger, and everybody likes to see a tiger. This is a nice male which came up right in front across the creek and walked up on the banks. So beautiful light on it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope COVID will be over soon and we'll all be traveling together. So thank you for your patience. Goodbye.